saw one of the teams from this cast actually in there. That was Urk was on the Little League team thing, I think, on Sunday. But either way, it's going to be Urk, but, well, actually, I'll bring up the overlay to explain that. But let's actually head on over to the overlay. Let's see who's going to be playing, and let's see what maps we got in store for us throughout the series. Let's get going, guys. Okay, just need to make sure. Okay, so, as I said, I may have spoilt it before, but it's going to be Urk versus Foreign Brood War All-Stars. It's going to be a lot of fun. Urk doing really, really well in the tournament so far. One of the top teams, in fact. Certainly one of the top teams of Group B. Foreign Brood War not had the greatest start, but they're doing pretty well. Their Zergs have been putting in absolute work. And Foreign Brood War have actually had a Terran that's won, but it doesn't seem to have recorded his win for some reason. So I'll have to change that. But you know what? Let's actually have a look at what maps are coming up. It's going to be New Empire of the Sun to start us off. Pathfinder next, Gladiator, Polaris Rhapsody, and finally, if we get to it, it's going to be the ace match on Grand Line SE. And today's matches are going to be arCNeON versus Roegi, who apparently doesn't have a race, but he is Terran. I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to fix that afterwards. It's going to be Whistler versus Taitu, Norgrim versus Allenalti, or Alan Dalty. But his, like, okay, his capitalization is just crazy. And finally, rounding us off, if it is the last game, it's going to be Imber versus Hermu. But our first players here, oh, actually, let's have a look at the table. As you can see, Urk doing a pretty good job. They're going to want to cement their lead in Group B. They're going to want to take it to 3 wins, 1 loss. Of course, they are the third team now. No, actually, I think they're the first team that's played 4 games already. They have not had a... They've got their bye week this week, so let's have a look at the players. Let's not waste too much time. As I said, it's going to be arCNeON. He's going to be playing Protoss, and he is going to be up against Foreign Brood War All-Stars Roegi. It's going to be a TVP. His race has not shown for some reason, but his TVP is incredibly interesting. He does play Bio sometimes. And Red have a very, very interesting logo. Let's just say it that way. But okay, let's have a look at the map. The first game here is going to be New Empire of the Sun. It's going to be a TVP to start us off. Going to be a lot of fun. We've not had a TVP on this map. Yes, we have. The map stats need to be updated manually as well, unfortunately. I had a couple of weeks where my database wasn't working properly. But it's going to be a TVP. Let's head on into the game, guys, and let's get started with this series. Okay, let's pop over and let's get going. So starting us off in the top right position, we do have the blue Terran. It's going to be Roegi. And I know the overlay's not working. His base is complete. Well, the database is really confused for some reason. But, as you can see there, chatting a little bit. And to show that off, his opponent is going to be in the purple. It's going to be Urk's arCNeON as the purple Protoss in the bottom left position. Now, if Lucky Noob was in my chat right now, he'd say, wait, is it... No, it's Eon who thinks purple Zerg is the best. I think Lucky Noob thinks purple Protoss is OP. So let's see if that is found... if that has any sort of indication on how this is going to go. Not too sure, but of course this is going to be the first game of this series. Hopefully all the overlay is showing the right stuff. It is, minus his race. I'll have to sort that out after the cast. And that means when I report this game, it's probably going to null exception, which isn't very fun. But hopefully it'll be okay. Let's just pretend. Hopefully everything will work. It just won't update the map stats properly, which is a bit of a pain. But I can fix that after the cast and just add it all manually. It's all good. But as you can see, Roegi gonna build his first depot, gonna be building a wall here. I believe you can build a depot here if you properly want to wall this. I think you can even build the barracks in this gap, I can't remember. I know it's definitely wallable with one building, but then of course you can't get anything out, which does make it a little bit annoying. Both players scouting in the incorrect direction to start with, so it's probably not going to make too much difference to the game itself. But of course, it looks like arCNeON very good with his probe, going to pull it back immediately. Let's see how quickly Roegi actually turns this. Yeah, nicely done by him as well. Actively scouting. Really kind of awkward to do. It shows they know the map at least, because they did go in just about as far to see where the building would be. We have a gateway, a pylon, and a cybernetics core for the Protoss player here. And meanwhile, it looks like Roegi is going to be going for a 1 Rax double. Really, really greedy build for Terran. Can be very dangerous, especially when you have a proxy pylon. And I don't know why I just turned towards my camera and pulled this really weird face, as if I was like, as if I was showing myself. But you know what? We're going to have a proxy pylon here. Now, is this going to be for a robo? One reaction you can have to a 1 Rax FE, which is really hard to defend against. Me and Sale actually had a big discussion about this once, and we tried a lot of practice games to try and figure it out, is if you just go proxy 3 gate behind this, like, it's very, very difficult to actually deal with, and he's going to wall himself in to his main. Like, you cannot get units past this unless they're like Marines, I believe. So that's actually a pretty greedy play with that wall. Of course, the Marine's going to chase the probe away. But arCNeON's not really that worried. Roegi making use of this little area behind the base here, going to hide his SCV. And of course, the Dragoon going to be able to go and scout around, see if he can find it. Probably won't check that location. But here we go, we're actually going to have an expansion coming up for arCNeON. Of course, this doesn't necessarily have to be for some kind of cheese. Of course, it is very possible to do it. But in reaction to 1 Rax FE, you can just expand yourself. It does put you at a little bit of a disadvantage, economy-wise, but not really too much to say other than that. Looks like the first Dragoon going to poke in. Looks like we do have the bunker done, so as soon as range is done, we will have the Dragoon being able to push into that. Range should be finished fairly shortly, yes it is. Second pylon coming up in the main, and of course that pylon can be used to throw off the enemy. But this SCV is going to see everything it needs to. Going to see that there is a nexus there, really, really important. I'm going to allow him to sort of prepare accordingly. He knows that he doesn't need to go into anything crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if this was going to be an academy. Yes, it is. Now, of course, you do want to be building your engineering bay, your academy, fairly early in TVP. It can be very easy to die to some crazy, crazy cheeses. And if you don't have any detection, like dying to DTs is like the worst feeling in the world. Of course you can hold with mines, but the fact he did go 1 Rax double means his factory is incredibly late. But here we go, the first Dragoon is going to force some wasted minerals here by Roegi to try and actually repair this. And of course Roegi does not know exactly how many Dragoons are going to be coming. He does see the Dragoon over here, but he will not see the third base probe. Very, very important for arCNeON. Going to play incredibly greedy here, and this could come back to actually bite him a little bit. But it looks like he's focusing a little bit elsewhere. But here we go. Nexus does come up. We have 2 gateways. Robo coming up as well. Meanwhile, in Roegi's base, he's going for siege, but also going for a starport very, very quickly. Now, I wonder if he plans to drop tanks behind the third base. I mean, one can assume that the Protoss is going to be going for a third at some point. There's not really that much droppable area behind the natural that's really worth it for a siege tank drop. But he could just be going for the 1 tank with siege to defend and go into vultures. That's exactly what he's doing. Of course, you do have this little outcrop here, which he's probably going to siege in. And that does allow you to attack these Dragoons, I think, and keep your bunker alive. Will allow him to sort of stop dealing with that crazy repair. Prison car siren. Oh man, there is a lot of sirens that do go past. That's just where I live. I don't live in a bad area. I actually live in a nice little village, but I'm on like a main road, so, and it's by a by like 2 hospitals. So there's a lot of sirens that go past sort of day and night. Of course, after a certain time, sirens don't act, well, they're not actually allowed to sound the sirens unless it's a serious emergency. But I even saw some unmarked police cars earlier driving around when I was walking to work, so you never know. And it looks like we actually have arCNeON playing a little bit cheeky, gonna take a very quick 4th base on this island. Now, of course, you only do need 1 probe to actually take that, suck that mineral up, and build the Nexus. But of course, there is going to be drop tech by Roegi, so this is going to allow him to actually punish this. We actually have a Wraith out to defend against any possible Reavers. Unfortunately for him, there won't be any Reavers in the game yet. Why did I say anything? You know what? He's seen the Reavers, he's got the Wraith, and there we go. Reaver and Dragoon going to be moving along. Looks like we do have a scan going down. Going to see that the third base is up and mining. Now, it looks like we're going to have 1 tank and 2 Vulture drop. That's going to do a lot of damage to this third base, but here we go. Building a pylon wall already. This could actually hurt him, given the fact we may actually... like, he's going to block the Dragoons from getting up here to defend, but we're going to have drop-for-drop action. Both of them trading damage. Who is going to come out on top of this? There's very few units back in Roegi's base to defend, but he does have that Wraith. The Wraith can kill the Shuttle and the Reaver. But is it going to be able to do so? The tanks need to be moved into a better position. Here we go. The Dragoon's getting targeted. He knows all he needs to do is kill the Dragoon, and this Reaver should be able to go down. Looks like a bit of missed target firing, though. The Wraith is going to go down. Get a kill. Okay, that was a really nice pick-off. Going to kill the Shuttle, and here we go. The tank has been dropped at the third base. Just, I don't think that's actually in range. Maybe it's just in range of the probe, but here we go. The Reaver waddling up to the third, or to the mineral line. Going to be able to take down the armory if he so chooses to. It's going to take a long time for him to do it, but looks like the tank was in range. All of the probes have been actually pulled off here, and both of them doing quite a lot of damage to each other. But here we go. Oh man, there's only one. There's only one tank. The Reaver gets a Scarab off. A huge Scarab gets 3 SCVs and gets another one as well. How quickly did that Scarab move around there? Is there like a Scarab speed upgrade that he's researched that I didn't know about? That was insane. But here we go. The dropship is going to evacuate. Mine's going to force these Dragoons back a little bit. And the pylon wall has of course been breached. Going to allow him to move in a little bit later with Vultures with speed. But I don't think overall that drop from arCNeON was worth it. But here we go. How the hell did that mine not go off? It doesn't really matter, but the units up here are going to be completely traded away. Of course, that was a lot of lost mining time. But arCNeON does have this 4th base coming up already. 9 minutes into the game, 4 bases. Nothing really being done with that pylon. I guess it's kind of a nice scouting pylon. It does allow him to see if there's any dropships coming in that direction as well. Dropship played quite strong on this map due to the fact that the third, as we saw, is in a low ground position. But here we go, Roegi going to take his third base on the island as well. Very, very strong option for Terran. But are we going to have a second shuttle coming out here? There's a lot of observers moving out on the map. Looks like we actually do have double scans going down at the main and the natural. Ooh, look at this. arCNeON reacting to the scan, thinking there's going to be a drop, has sent all of his units back home. This is a bit of an overreaction, but really nice reactions from him anyway. To know that there's been a scan in your base and actually sending everything back is really, really nicely done. We actually have a scan going down here. Scan going down here to check for a 4th base, but doesn't see it. He's not checked the other island yet, so bit unfortunate for him. It's going to be a little bit before he can actually really do anything about it, though. The second dropship has come up. We actually have 2 dropships now. Of course, the first one did survive. And is Roegi actually going to move in and do too much? arCNeON doesn't really know about this 3rd base either. And here we go. The square of turrets around the base is going to try and take down any shuttles before they come in. We have another dropship of SCVs going to move down. Of course, there is only 6 mineral patches here, so it doesn't take too much to actually really... forgotten the word. You know what, it doesn't take much to efficiently saturate it. It doesn't take many SCVs to saturate, only about 12 needed over there, so it doesn't need to transfer too many SCVs. We do finally have some Vultures moving out onto the map. They still don't actually have speed though, interestingly enough. Looks like he did opt to skip that to try and get as many units as possible. And thank you for Populate. I guess that's kind of similar to what I wanted, but Saturate was the one I wanted. But it looks like the minerals are pretty saturated well here. Finally, we do have a shuttle moving over. Not sending a load of probes over. Actually going to send 2 zealots over with this to start with. Of course, Protoss, once they do have an island, makes it very hard for Terran to really push in with dropships. Cannons do a lot of damage, and with enough cannons over there, which are... I'm not going to say they're free. I'm not whining or anything. It's very hard to really take out Protoss Island. So this base and this full gas is going to go to arCNeON, probably until it mines out. Looks like we actually have a bunch of scans going down, checking for that 4th base. Has he checked the island? I think he just did. Yeah, there we go. He's checked the island. He sees those cannons up. And his heart is going to sink just a little bit. He probably thought, oh, I'm in a very good position here. I'm going to be able to take my third base before the Protoss. But it seems like arCNeON had the same idea. Going to be up in bases. And here we go. We do actually have... Oh man, a shot actually got in and dropped a Zealot on the turret. The shuttle did obviously go down. The speed observer is going to run away. But that is not going to be enough SCVs to repair the turret. He needs to pull another one. Actually being forced to bring units over here. Can he keep the turret alive? It's so close! The poor Zealot does not get the turret. Really nice defense there by Roegi. But here we go. It looks like we actually have some Dragoons moving in to try and intercept this dropship. Of course, there is a lot of dead space. Now, how many gateways do we have? Oh, we don't need gateways now because we're going carriers. Carriers and a second Cybernetic core for upgrades. They have not been scanned by Roegi, so let's actually just double check. Wait, what is he scanning? Oh, he's scanning ahead of his dropships. I mean, that's a good play, but you need to scan the units, and here we go. I mean, look how quickly these Dragoons are moving in to try and intercept these dropships. These dropships are going to need to get out of dodge incredibly quickly. Looks like we actually had a Vulture going down over here. Looks like we actually have a mine. Oh, this is a really nice move, actually. Oh, but his dropships are going to get caught. He needs to pull his dropships away. There's going to be a lot of damage and a lot of stuff to lose. The dropships get away, but one tank is 100% going down. I mean, he's going to try and do his absolute best here and do as much damage as possible, but it's not going to be enough. The dropships have been pulled back. Dragoons clear of absolutely everything. And Roegi, I mean, his macro hasn't fully kicked in. He's on 2k minerals right now. He's trying to add on a lot of gateways. Looks like he has in fact scouted the carriers. One of the scans must have hit them. He's not going for +2 upgrade, for +3 upgrade though. Bit of a blunder from him. He needs that +3 as soon as humanly possible, or carriers can completely ruin your day, especially on this map. And he does, of course, have the island base. This is going to be very hard to defend against the carriers. Looks like we will have the carriers moving on over up here now. And Roegi is 100% going to lose his third base here. And that is all-important gas he cannot be affording to lose. And even dropping Zealots down here just to make sure everything gets cleaned up. And these three carriers going to be enough to really deal with absolutely everything here. Nice target firing on the carrier. They're going to take some of the hull damage. But as you can see, all the units have been killed. 5th base coming up for arCNeON. Probably going to go for a 6th base, and that's an observer. And this 3rd base is going down. Looks like Roegi has scanned again. Scanning out in front to check his army, of course. Due to the fact that carriers are over here, they're not going to be there to defend his bases. And showing himself to the pylon is going to give him the opportunity to actually move in with his units, or at least prepare for them. And the carrier is going to fly away here. They've done what they need to do. They're going to try and take down the engineering bay, make sure there's no more turrets. But it looks like Roegi behind this push is going to try and secure this 3rd base. Could even see him try and secure this 4th base as well. And of course, these carriers are not going to have the best of positions to try and move in anymore. And interestingly, there was no liftoff there on the command center. So the CC does go down to a couple of Zealots. Kind of unfortunate, but here we go. There's going to be a big engagement here. Not sieging up most of his tanks. Bit of a questionable decision, but the units are coming in single file. The one problem he does have is there's not that many units here. Catching the probe transfer almost, though. That could have been a very dangerous gambit to transfer the probes right there. But these bottom 2 bases are going to go down, but arCNeON does not care. He is going for the counter. He's going to block any Goliaths from coming down to defend this. And where are the carriers? Where are the carriers? What on earth? Oh, they're up here. Where on earth were they hiding? Okay, here we go. We actually have Dragoons and carriers coming in on just the Goliaths. And I believe this may be a little bit too much for Roegi to try and hold. He's trying to hold on with a little bit of carrier, a little bit of Goliath micro. There's not actually that many carriers right now. There's actually only 5, but with Storm here as well, going to be kind of annoying for him to deal with. And it looks like he has taken out the base down here, but he does not know about this base. Here we go, he's going to find it now. But with all the tanks and the Goliaths back, he may be able to hold. Looks at this one tank doing a decent job to damage all of these units. But this is just so many carriers, so many interceptors for these Goliaths to actually deal with. But here we go, looks like we've got the tanks coming in behind. Interestingly, leading with the tanks, there's not actually that many Goliaths here. And I mean, you know what, if tanks could shoot up, the game would be broken. But that's not the only thing that's going to be broken. We actually have Roegi's natural has been broken. Oh my god, the storms! Such amazing storms! 4 kills, 1 kill, 10 kills on that Templar. Really, really nicely done. And the carrier's going to fall back for some reason. I guess he's run out of interceptors. So that's going to keep Roegi alive in the game a little bit longer. He is, of course, taking a 3rd and 4th base finally. But arCNeON certainly has the advantage. He has a lot of bases right now, a lot of gas being mined, and a lot of carriers still left alive. And Starflash with the really vintage meme of understands the power of technology. Oh man, that was always funny. But looks like an observer gonna scout out the other bases. But what on earth is Roegi gonna do to come back in this? He usually goes bio against Protoss. This time he chose not to. And you know what? I can't help but think that bio in this situation would have been a little bit better. But here we go. Looks like Goliath's trying to shoot down the carriers where they can. I mean, one of them is very, very low on health. So maybe he can make a miracle. Have a nice target firing. Gets the damaged carrier. Can he actually hold on here? Looks like he's taking out the bottom right base. He may be able to still stabilize and split the map, but he is barely mining right now. He has this 3rd base. He's not mining its natural. He's barely mining his 4th base now. And these SCVs going to transfer past. Do we have any additional carriers coming in? Yes, we do. And this is where it starts getting a pain. One thing Rota always says is build... Oh, it's actually just mines down here. I guess he lost all his vultures. But wait, how many observers does arCNeON have? What on earth? There's like an observer per carrier right now. Like the entire map is covered in observers. I think that was about 8 observers I just counted, but here we go. Looks like Roegi wants to push, wants to try and take on this Protoss army before it gets too big. But has he used too many scans? When arbiters are on the carriers, it makes it very annoying to try and target fire them. It looks like Roegi's going to try and pull back onto the high ground. He's still going for this engagement. Looks like he wants to try. But with this arbiter cloaking the interceptors, it's going to be very, very annoying. A nice stasis goes down. And it looks like this may just be too much from the Protoss, but then again, the tanks are doing so much damage to Dragoons, but there's not enough Goliaths left. Nice target firing by arCNeON there, and 185 to 130 supply. Roegi looks like he's still trying to hold on. He's lost all his Goliaths. I don't think... Oh, here comes another 5. He's going to get one of the arbiters. It looks like no, he doesn't. And there is nothing left to detect, I don't think. I think he's probably out of scans. And unfortunately, that is going to be it for Roegi, most likely, in the series. He's going to lose all of his tanks. And with that, his hope and TL's hope to come back... Oh, sorry. Foreign Brute War's hope to... Wait, it's the first game. What am I going on about? I thought I was casting Game 5 for some reason, but here we go. Looks like we have more and more Goliaths coming in. There are so many carriers at this point, though. 6 carriers. Gonna be enough. There's almost as many carriers as there are Goliaths at this point. Gonna get one of the arbiters, but no, a nice stasis goes down on the vessel. And carriers just worth their weight in absolute gold. An observer actually here and no units being sent to kill this. But here we go, the carriers moving on over. Probably could send a zealot up here and a zealot down to the bottom right, and he wouldn't really be able to hold on. But Roegi is a trooper. He's holding on. He's trying to stay in. He doesn't want to give up. This is the first game of the series. There's a lot to come after this. And he wants to try and get his team the victory. He wants to try and get his team that early advantage. But all of his SCVs are going to go down. He's mining gas off of 3 bases now. That's not going to be enough to support the kind of Goliath production he needs. And the second we start seeing some more storm in here, this command center is likely going to go down. He cannot save this at this point. I mean, he can do his best, but the CC goes down. Still just mines over here. Interestingly, looks like arCNeON's finally going to start building probes. But I mean, he has every other base on the map pretty much. Looks like the Goliaths haven't seen the observer. No scan to kill that. Can't really afford to scan with the arbiters in play on top of the carriers. Still scanning around though. I mean, Roegi, as I said, is a trooper. He's staying in. He's seeing if he can win. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Of course, he's not going to be able to clear all the observers. Oh, there we go. He gets one of them. Really, really nicely done by him. He's sending a drop over, and this could actually do a decent amount of damage. Of course, he can drop the tank back here, use the vultures to build mines, but there is this cannon here as well. But this is such a big army for the Protoss player. We actually have 2-1. That'll be 2-1. I'm not sure on the attack upgrades. 2-1-3. There is 3 attack done for his carriers. That is going to be such an insane upgrade advantage. Or the 3-2 is done for the Goliaths. I mean, the production of the Protoss player is just going to be too much right now, and he has a lot of Goliaths, not a lot of much else. And this is a lot of Dragoons, a lot of Zealots, a lot of units to counteract the the ground force of the Terran player. I mean, he's going to, as I said, he's still trying to hold on. He's still got a decently sized army, but he's 50 supply behind. A huge stasis goes down. And I don't know what Roegi's going to do. He's trying to pull off a miracle here. There's so much money in the bank for arCNeON at the moment. Let's actually zoom out just a little bit so we can see what's going on at the bottom of the engagement here. But I mean, this is just so much damage. He's going to have to burn scans to even try and kill the interceptors at this point. And there we go, another scan going down. Gonna lose his other tank, it looks like. Not really too much he can do about that. And only 5 Goliaths do remain. There is more carriers than Goliaths, and GG! Roegi is going to lose the first game. arCNeON taking a very strong PVT. They're going to be taking iRK up 1-0. Let's actually just move on back